Good day, podcast community. PeteKane here, podcaster and community builder, and we have a special guest on the show. It's earlier than most, and so we're so glad, and we honor our early risers and our people that get going sooner than later. So, Emma, tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and who you serve, and then we'll get into our podcast.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Emma Watterson. I live right here in Virginia Beach, and I've been a holistic health coach for the last 10 years, and I love helping other corporate moms who are struggling with that balance of that home, work, life, everything, so without losing themselves too.
Ooh, that is so good. So let's go back 10 years. Like, what was your motivation to move into this path to support corporate moms and to support people with busy lifestyles and the importance of what you're doing?
So that's me in a nutshell. So when I started 10 years ago, I was working full time. I had a kindergartner and a senior in high school, and I just taken a job that took me 4 hours away from my family, and I was like, this is nuts. And so
Mhm.
I wanted to. So my day job is I'm a civilian for the Navy. I do environmental compliance audits for Navy hospitals and clinics, and I wanted to help other moms who were in the same situation, trying to raise family and trying to be the best at all things, and then felt like losing me in the process. And I was like, well, this is no way to live a life. And so I wanted to not only figure out how do I rearrange things, how can I help myself, that way I can help other people too who are in the same or similar situation.
I love that. So many people, I've done quite a few over the last 4 years, and there's a common theme about how people get support from whatever they're doing. Now they want to give that back to others because it made such a transformation in their own journey. What do you think when you hear holistic? A lot of people don't know exactly what it means. So, what does it mean to you to be more holistic and to lean into that lifestyle?
Well, when a lot of people think about getting in shape, they're like, okay, I'm going to do all the physical stuff. And they ignore the mental, the emotional, the spiritual side of health. And I wanted to have a more well rounded approach to our health, because all of our systems are connected and we're all connected. And you can't just, when you're exercising, yes, you can have leg day, you can have arm day, you can focus on different muscle groups, and at the end of the day all of those muscles are connected.
Mhm.
And we're not one dimensional people. We are multidimensional. And so focusing not only on the physical side of things, but if you're going through a major life event, I can't just tell you to go have a green smoothie, everything's going to be fine. Let's kind of break it down. Okay, what's going on in your life right now? Let's approach it from the mental, emotional, and spiritual, as well as we'll get to the physical side, but you need to address
Mhm.
all of those parts first, and that's what holistic means to me.
Ooh, that is so good. Now, when you look at the busyness of our culture right now and the unhealthiness of a lot of people, what part of just that pace takes people off course? I mean, we all know our health is important, but we don't prioritize it. So, what do you think when you're working with your clients? What do you work on the mindset first, or how do you get to the root of what you're helping them transform and get better?
I'm so glad you brought up the root cause, because a lot of times we're trying to just stick a Band-Aid on things
Mm-hmm.
and just scratch the surface on fully healing. But when you just stick a Band-Aid on something, it doesn't really address the root cause or the issue of that. And so about 6 or 7 years ago, I got introduced to NLP, or neuro linguistic programming, which is literally using the language of the mind to connect your conscious and subconscious parts of your brain to unravel and rebuild new neural pathways so that you can fully address and recover from previous traumas so that you can move forward in your life. And when I realized that, when you're like, say you come to somebody with a presenting problem, this is your surface level problem, and then you ask a series of questions. Okay, well, why do you want to lose 10 pounds? Okay, well, let's think about the word lose. When you lose something, you generally want it back, right? So if you lose your keys, you kind of want them back. But when you talk about losing weight, you don't necessarily want it back. So instead of saying, oh, I'm losing weight, maybe shifting that word to, hey, I'm releasing weight, because releasing gives it more of a permission to leave, rather than, okay, this is no longer serving me, and this is something I can let go of, and it's okay. Yeah. So getting down to that root cause is, again, and it's going to be individual. It's going to be an individual answer for everybody. Nobody has the same root cause, but getting down and just asking those deeper level questions and really getting down to that root cause. Because when you can ask, or when you can get down to that root cause, you can truly have the best level of healing.
Yeah, mindset. I even have a podcast devoted specifically to mindset, because it's such a powerful way, because our thoughts, we have like 12 to 60,000 thoughts that go through our head. And it's real easy to get them all jumbled up. And we're making 500 decisions, and we wonder why that fatigue sets in, because, getting those thoughts out. I found journaling and meditation as a support for me, because I grew up with dyslexia and ADHD. So I had an active brain, and the words didn't always come out correctly. But what do you do to, like, prepare Emma for the day? Do you have a routine that honors your journey?
I do, yes. So every morning I get up, I think about at least one thing that I'm grateful for that day. Even if it's as simple as, hey, I can breathe today, and I can open my eyes, I can see today. And then I get up and I go downstairs, and we have 2 rescue dogs, and so I take them for a walk, and that kind of resets my brain for the day. Just getting outside, whether it's raining or snowing or whatever is going on outside, it's just a nice way to reconnect and have some time with them, and then just, again, reconnecting, like, my thoughts for the day. I try to plan the day before for what I'm going to do the next day, because if you don't plan that next day, or even the next couple of days, if you don't know what tomorrow holds, the day's already lost. So try to review everything the night before, and then when I get up, I can just kind of set everything in place.
Ooh, that's so good. How do you challenge yourself? Growth is such an important part of our journey, and it's very easy to fall into a comfort zone. How do you challenge yourself to grow each day?
That's a great question. So yes, I love learning. I'm a lifelong learner. I love learning new things. So, and we have a teenage son who's he's going to be a junior in high school, and so oftentimes I'll ask him. I'll say, what's on your mind today? What are you thinking about? what's on your plate, and just like getting a chance to learn what he's learning for that day,
Hmm.
or talking to other people and saying, okay, what's if you could do anything today, what would you do?
Mm.
And so just thinking about different things that, or picking up, like finding a new word to learn, or finding a new song, or just discovering something new. I I've never put together model anything. I've done Legos before, but one of my very good friends, her dad used to fly Huey helicopters, and so I wanted to put together a Huey helicopter. So I found this metal thing, and so I've been learning how to do that. So just finding like new little things that I can learn, and or like I said, it's just finding one new thing, one new person to talk to, one new idea, just finding something new.
I serve over at the local high school, and we do a program called Habitudes, which is by John Maxwell. So I've had the students from freshmen. We're in the sophomore season, and it was like my daughter homeschooled, so I hadn't seen until last year the school system. I just had been kind of isolated from that part of it because it just wasn't front and center. What do you think the challenges are with our youth? You have a teenager. What do you see as the challenges for parents communicating with their teenager in this day and age? Because I love that you ask them those questions, which gets them to think, and you get to find out what's going on in their mind.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think this generation is really challenged because I feel like we're the most connected in terms of we have all these online capabilities, but we're the most disconnected society right now because we don't have a lot of face-to-face time. We're so glued to these little devices.
Mhm.
And so it's or being online, some kind of screen, like we're on a screen. And so getting, even if it's just a couple minutes, just taking the time to get outside, or have a real conversation, or talk about, hey, what's going on, what's on your mind today, and
Mhm.
just taking that few extra minutes to reconnect. And I think even just providing that space for to talk with our kids, I think that's really important. And even our significant others too. I think providing that space, having that chance to connect, whether it's the beginning of the day or the end of the day, or even throughout the day. With if you're, I'm at work, and my husband's works from home, and so just finding little things throughout the day that just to have that connection of, hey, let's talk.
Mm. That is so good. We're seeing major changes happening with AI and just the
Yeah.
advancement of innovation. And you and I have more perspective of life because we've lived it. Our kids, our teenagers, our younger people don't have that perspective. How are you preparing, like, your son and the people that you're engaging with, because they don't have that perspective, but the world is just changing real fast? Are you doing anything special to kind of prepare them?
Yeah, so that's a awesome point to bring up, is with the advancement of AI. There, I feel like there's a time and a place for AI. There's a lot of pros to it, and with every pro, there's some cons that come along with it,
Mhm.
and learning how to distinguish what is real and what is not real, and especially in today's world, really learning how to distinguish, okay, we already have super unachievable expectations of ourselves already. And then I feel like AI has already set another, um, impossible standard for us, especially when it comes to our bodies and our body images and how we're supposed to, what we should and supposed to do. And so I think you were asking about how can we help our kids with this too, is showing them by example, is that we don't have to live our life behind a screen. Let's find ways to connect so we can go outside, we can do activities outside. We try to there's a disc golf place near us, and so we try to get out there, and even just trying to find things that we can do as a family, or just having that one-on-one time with them. Or like even like finding like my son will send me recipes and he's like, hey, let's make this. And so like finding a recipe to make together, finding things that are with them, that's their idea, and then helping that come to life, like finding those kinds of things. And then especially with AI, again, it's learning again what's real, what's not, what's enhanced, what's just learning how to distinguish those things, and then how can we just keeping those communication channels open as well.
I was in the gym yesterday, and when I go to the gym, I close my eyes and I almost meditate, or I'm concentrating on what I'm listening to improve my focus. Well, I get off of the off the bike, and I look, and there's a friend of mine next door, right next to me. And, I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. We, knew each other's past. We used to work together years ago, but he had retired a couple of years before 65. And he was telling me he was paying like $2,500 in healthcare, Cobra, until he gets to, and I went, $2,500 a month? And he goes, yeah. And he looked at it and went through all kinds of AI because he's pretty savvy, but that's the number he settled on. And I was going like, now I'm over 65. So when I had my stroke before 65, my bill for physical therapy was $30,000, of which $3,000 was out of pocket for 1 month.
Oh my word! Oh my gosh!
65, it went from 30,000 to 300.
Oh my word!
I just pay a deductible, and I was like, we were talking about the 2,500 that he has to come out of pocket. What do you think when we look at our healthcare? There's obviously a lot of improvement that need to be made, and holistic is such an important part of the journey. What are you most excited about when you look at the future of holistic and AI kind of solving some of our issues with, disease and things like that? What are you most excited about?
I think that provides a lot of hope. I think that provides a quick, like I said, AI has a great place in solving things quickly, and it gives me a starting place. And it's like, okay, it takes a whole bunch of ideas, condense it into at least a starting draft, and then I can say, oh, okay, well, let's make this tweak here. Let's add this here, whether it's a diet plan or an exercise plan or journaling prompts or whatever it is. It's finding ways. It gives us a starting point, and then we can incorporate our own ideas in from there.
That's so good. So let's go back to corporate moms.
Yeah.
I do think that when you're on a very busy, like, treadmill of sorts, and it's really easy, because I have a real good friend, I can prepare my meals at home. I can do more to get that ready. I don't eat as much out as busy people do. How do they, like, they're in the working world, they're around things that may not be as healthy for us. How do they get access to healthy food for nutrition when they're so busy and they're maybe traveling? What have you found that's been helpful to support them?
So what's nice is that we do have more access to things like Instacart or ways that we can order things online. So if I'm traveling for work, I can order groceries for my family back at home.
Mm,
Or if I know that it's going to be a busy week at work for me, I know that I can take a couple hours on a Sunday afternoon before everything to at least game plan for the week. I can grab a few groceries, know that Monday I'm going to make this meal, and just kind of like have a rotation of meals that I can plan for the week. And
mm,
you can switch out those days. Sometimes it's taco. Yeah, of course it's Taco Tuesday. But I was like, what about Taco Thursday? So
mhm.
just having a couple of go-to recipes in the back of my head, and having those on hand, and involving my family too, is getting a chance to talk to them and saying, hey, what do you? This is going to be a busy week. What are some things that you would like to have this week? And also involving them too is giving them the opportunity. Hey, it's gonna be a later. I've got a meeting that's coming up, and like taking turns and saying, okay, hey, today we're going to have this. Can you like have them pick a day, and they can help make the meal that day?
Mhm. Ooh, that is so good. What would you say when, I know like root tips to wing tips. Explain what that means to our community.
Absolutely. So when I first started out, I remember the phrase, we give our kids two things in this world. We give them roots and we give them wings.
Mm,
And for my clients, I wanted to be able to support them from roots to wings. So
mhm,
I wanted to make sure that they had, bringing them back to their roots, being able to have a strong foundation of nutrition, but also having that mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional support as well, and then providing them wings, providing them opportunities, figuring out a path to help, so they're not constantly relying on, oh, I'm going to be in this program forever. Like giving them wings to be able to be sustainable, and be able to be out on their own after they learn a skill set.
that is so good. I have six granddaughters from a little
That's
over 1 to 12, and the older three are love to create videos. They're always like
Mhm.
doing their own thing, creating, and you see the excitement when people are so into that creation versus just consuming. Because we talked about, I used to do social media years ago when it first started out. After my stroke, I gave it up because I wanted to give my brain a break from the social online things that happen. So
Mm.
we're born to create, but we consume so much. How are you preparing your kids to create? I mean, and we talked a little bit about cooking with you and asking those questions, but what have you found that has been real helpful to get them in that creative mode versus consumption?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like there can be more. I don't feel like it has to be one or the other. I feel
Mhm,
like there are good things about both of them. So taking the good aspects of, it's like consumption. Yes, there's a lot of information out there, but you can think of it as a grocery store. When we go to the grocery store, we're not buying the entire store.
mhm,
We're going in and we're saying, okay, I'm going to make lasagna tonight. Okay, I'm going to need some kind of protein that goes in there. I'm going to need all the so I'm picking out specific ingredients to make that recipe. I'm not going down all the aisles and saying, okay, well, I need all these things, or I don't know what I need. So having more um, of an idea of what I'm looking for,
mhm.
and then again keeping those communication channels open too. With our son too, it's like, hey, and just being aware of, okay, what is he interested in?
Mhm.
what are some things that his peers are talking about? What are they doing online? And then let's find ways that we can, are there other activities that we can do outside together as a family? Are there other things that we can do where we're having a discussion about things, about real life things, or how do you feel about this, and providing that space and that judgment free zone so that they have that, so they can share things with us too. I think that that's definitely key.
Yeah, that's beautiful. If you had to talk to a 20, let's say a 16 or 17-year-old Emma, and you are going to like give her one piece of advice that you've learned, what would you say to a 16-year-old Emma?
Stay open minded. Be open minded to new possibilities that you never, yes, you may have a path of where you want to go, and that's great. Absolutely have that path, and be open to other ideas and suggestions. I would not be here where I am today if I had not kept an open mind. I had no idea that I would be where I am today, but I'm very glad of the questions I asked, the people I talked to, the opportunities that I've had, and that's definitely one piece of advice: is keeping an open mind and being being open to new possibilities. Yes, you can have the same outcome or a similar outcome, and yet the path may be completely different.
Wow. If you had to say one person that helped you with that mindset of being open, and is there anybody in your life that helped you in that? Because it's not, I want to say normal, but it's not common that people have that open growth mindset. They just, they fall into that fixed. I think I know everything. Is there one person that helped you?
I would I would have to boil it down to a couple of people. My mom has always figured out a way to, she was like, okay, we have an idea, we're gonna figure something out.
Mm,
And so, and then my one of my college advisors, I actually still talk to him today. He has opened so many doors to me, and he's continued to be an awesome resource and say, hey, have you met this person, or hey, have you thought about this, or if
mm,
this is the path that you want to be on, let's talk to these people, or let's open let's think about these ideas as well. And so, like I said, keeping that open mind and to new possibilities, and having a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. And
yes.
it's definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because this was about 4 years ago, and I had three ladies that recommend this one person to me. And she gave me the book by Carol Dweck, Growth Mindset versus
Yeah.
a Fixed Mindset. And it was like, and she's in health and fitness. So, and we often talk about, because she works with people really to get I think the root, because you can't say, I want to lose it, because you're right. Because when you lose something, you want it back. And so changing those words and changing that mindset. And I love that book because it helped me. I think I have a growth mindset, but I find myself sometimes falling into that fixed mindset in just certain situations. How do you keep that growth mindset and keep Emma growing? Is there anything that you could share with us that keeps you on that right path, I guess I could say?
I think renewing my mind on a daily basis is thinking one about those things. What am I grateful for?
Mhm.
And then just keeping an open mind, keeping that renewed mindset of like, hey, what can I learn today? Who can I meet today? Who can I help today? Keeping, and those are kind of like magnets. It's when you set your subconscious mind to work, it works for you, and it's gonna attract those things. I don't know if you've ever gotten a new car and suddenly everybody has that same car. You're like,
Yes.
wow, I had no idea. But it's that when you set your mind towards that, or when you focus on something, or you put out that intention every day, you're
Yeah.
going to attract those things to you.
Yes, that is so true. I want to be respectful of your time because I know you have a busy life and busy lifestyle. So I want to ask one more question, but before I do that, tell our viewers, how can they get more of Emma if those corporate moms are out there struggling with really doing the kind of things that, give them the bright future that's possible. How can they get a hold of Emma?
Absolutely. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, all at Root Tips to Wingtips. And so those are the best ways to get in touch with me.
Awesome. And we'll put in the show notes, we'll put some links to that too. So one final question. What
Sure.
would be the one thing you would want our viewers to take home from this podcast today?
I think starting our day with gratitude, even if it feels like it's something small, or like, I don't know what I can be thankful today, just thinking about what can I be grateful for today.
That is so good. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us and be with our community. I love what you're doing. I love the impact that I can see that you're making in the corporate moms and the people that really need that help and support as it gets very busy out there. And, that's so good. So thank you, Emma, for being a guest on our podcast. And we appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Absolutely. It's been such a joy and a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.